interview is part of the History Heard project. The content of this interview may be used for historical research. However, no part of this video itself may be reproduced without the express written permission of an authorized representative of History Heard or Frank Schaal. Today is January 10th, 2010 at 2 p.m. This is an interview with Frank Schaal in Sarasota, Florida. He was born on October 5th, 1921 in Breslau, Germany.
There was a doctor next door to us. He had his office next door to us, and they are very well known and good surgeon. And they hauled him out of his house, and a group of people gathered there, and they started cursing at him and spitting at him, and I saw him being arrested. And then I left. I ran down. And I had to leave my father because my father said, you can run faster than I can, and you have to run in order to get away from them. So that was the Crystal Night, and on Crystal Night, it started, the excuse was that there was a young Jewish man in Paris by the name of Greenspan. He was 20 years old, and he came from Poland, and they had taken people, Jews who immigrated from Poland to Germany, and deported them back into Poland because they didn't want them. But the Poles didn't want them either. So they were in between, back and forth, between Poles and Germany, between Poland and Germany on the border, and they finally took them into concentration camps. And you know what happened in concentration camps, I suppose. He was very upset that his parents were so mistreated by the Nazis. And he walked into the embassy, the German embassy, and he shot one of the people in the embassy, a guy called von Rath. Okay, he was a minor official in the German embassy. And that was the excuse for the beginning of the Holocaust. They said that the Jews are killing the Germans. And he was such a wonderful man, and he was so important. He was a patriot, and he was doing a very important job. And you can't have that. And the German people got so mad that they wanted to kill all the Jews. But we, the Nazis, are protecting the Jews, so we take them into custody. And that was when they sent them to concentration camp. That was the Crystal Night. And after that, nobody was allowed to work, and they smashed all the windows and everything else. They did an awful lot of damage. And they called it Crystal Night. Crystal Night is a Nazi expression because the shards of the store windows, of the glass of the windows of the stores, were all over the street. And when the sun came up, they started to glitter. And the Nazis loved that. It looked to them like crystal. And they called it the Crystal Night. This is where the expression Crystal Night comes from. It isn't an expression that anybody else has coined. It's a Nazi expression, but it went down into history as the event of Crystal Night. Crystal Night is very important because it is the beginning of the Holocaust. People died in concentration camps already, and some of them, most of them came back with an order to leave Germany within 24 hours or else go back there, and they would never come out. And they were mistreated, and there were terrible stories came back from that. What we thought was terrible because the man who lived in our place, I picked him up from the railroad station at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I almost didn't recognize him because he had no hair, and he was a skeleton. They didn't give him to eat, and he told us it was winter. They let him stay outside without coats for 24 hours at a tension. and whoever moved or collapsed was shot. And there were many people were killed. So that was the beginning of the Holocaust. But he was lucky, he survived, and he also went to Shanghai, and he was together with my parents in Shanghai. Of the stormtroopers at the boycott right after the takeover. Germans, defend yourselves against the Jew. It says here. And they are standing guard in front of a store so that the German people couldn't get in there. And here is a picture of Hitler and the SS. And the SS were the elite troops during the Holocaust who killed all these the people in the concentration camps. They were the camp guards, and they came after to clean up. After the others conquered the town, the SS would come in and start the murdering.